So today we are doing our September video of our native plant garden tour. We've been doing videos from the spring and we're going to continue into maybe October, November, just to show you how these plants are growing over the whole growing season. So we'll get right to it. Thanks so much for watching. Here is our obedient plant. It just finished flowering. So now is a great opportunity to deadhead the plant if you don't want it spreading via seed. So as you can see, it has tons of these little pods where the little blooms were. And now all these pods, let's see if we can go take a look down in here, are growing seeds. And in each of the pods, there's probably about 4 or so seeds. So these ones are going black. They're getting ready. They aren't quite ready to harvest yet. I would wait until the whole little stalk of seeds has gone brown and is nice and crispy, and that's when you know the seeds are ready for harvesting. I made a little video about that, and so I'll put a link to that here above in this video, and you can take a look at that if you'd like to save the seeds. Otherwise, people say that this plant is super disobedient because it grows really, really aggressively. And so if you want it to stop from making little baby plants, then deadhead it now, and then you won't have any problems there, and it'll just spread via rhizomes in the base of the plant. Here is the bee balm. It's kind of hard to see. It's getting crowded out a little bit by the obedient plant here. I am going to move it after I do this little video and give it a little bit more space. I do want it to grow in more of a bigger form in the garden. So I'm going to be moving this non-native seeded plant out of its way as well. And then hopefully it'll flourish in this part of the garden. But I did deadhead it. I left a couple of the blooms on to make some seed. Focus in there. And then you can see that I am getting another bloom here. So hopefully this won't be the only bloom I get, but I am getting some more blooms. And after deadheading it, I was hoping that it would grow a bunch more blooms before the end of the year. So whatever comes from this point forward, I will leave on the plant to develop seed. And then if the birds eat the seed, then great. But if it drops the seed, then all the better, so that it can again flourish in this spot in the garden. Here's our smooth aster. We've got a couple little blooms on it already, and there are more to come. This plant is about maybe just over 2 feet tall, and I moved it to a spot at the back of the garden because it is going to be a little bit taller than I had expected, and hopefully it'll bloom a little bit more throughout the next couple of weeks because we've got some little buds coming down here as well. Here's our foamflower, still looking nice and green. It's supposed to be green right into the early part of the winter, so I am thinking this is a perfect ground cover plant for the shady parts of your garden. So this is our blanket flower. It is all going to seed, so it's all kind of dry and ugly at the top part, but we do have some new blooms coming, so that's kind of exciting, especially after the transplant. Don't mind the cars going by. This is in our boulevard garden, and we have a couple other blanket flowers that are also in bloom. We'll go for a little walk. Don't mind all the nasty plants. This is what happens when you start a garden from scratch with a whole bunch of transplants. But here we have some more blanket flower here. So this is the kind of plant, if you deadhead it, then you'll get more blooms. So this plant was deadheaded and it's got a couple blooms, and then the other one after the transplant is just hanging on there. So it's going to do really well here in this nice sunny part of the garden, and also dry. So the boulevard garden is a good place for blanket flower. Here we have our New England Aster. It is looking really, really good. It's about 3 feet tall now, and look, we have a whole bunch of little bloom heads starting. So in the next week or so, I'm sure we're going to get lots of pretty purple blooms, and then hopefully they'll be blooming all the way into October for our next video. So here's another clip of our New England Aster. It's starting to bloom now. You can see the purple little petals coming out. It's coming. This is about a week later after the first little video. So this is September 12th or so. So this is going to be blooming in the next day or two, and I'm very excited to see the pretty purple blooms on this new native plant of mine. Here's our butterfly weed. It looks like this plant has mostly gone to seed. Now, I'm taking this video a little bit later in September, so it's about September 12th or so. And so they've all gone to seed over here, but we do have some butterfly weed just over here. We'll go for a little walk by the window well that's still in bloom. So there still is some of the little orange blooms there. And then some of this has gone to seed as well. So we will be trying to harvest this seed, and it's not ready yet. I did a little video on harvesting butterfly weed, and I'll put a link to that here. And really we're waiting for the seed pods to all go brown and dry and crispy, and to have them break open so that the little seeds pop out, and that's when you know that they're ready. So take a look at that if you want to collect your seeds as well. And this is what we're looking at for our September video for butterfly weed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the video interesting and helpful. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching.